Hello, folks, and welcome back. And what a day of upsets. Team Azworth taking down the Fraud Squad. I am your friendly neighborhood Shackcaster Shargan, and I have joining with me on the interview is Betry. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Betry.
Betry. Okay,
Yeah.
gonna make sure that I'm saying that correctly throughout the course of this. All right, well, so first off, I just gotta ask, does your back hurt? Because your performance on Kane was amazing.
Cause you know what, I get used to it. So like, you know, my back, they have like back support. I use it like during every game, man.
You just gotta like pick everybody up and carry them to the end of just no matter where it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
especially top laner. Yeah.
Especially your top laner, Shadows.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, it's like I gotta ask you, what were your guys' thoughts going into this draft up against Fraud Squad?
Oh, like before the games?
Yeah, like because it seems like your comp this time around, it was still really aggressive and really wanted to fight, but it seemed a little bit less all or nothing in comparison to some of the other ones.
Oh yeah, because like we lose like, you know, like 4 games, and like our our confidence start like go down. So like kids, like for the top laner, our top laner kids, he's like make my jungler like makes it. I'm really feel bad about my jungler because like he always feed the enemy jungler like 2 kills before the game. So
yeah,
before the middle game.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always rough as a jungler whenever you start seeing your lane struggling and you're like, I want to do something but I can't.
Yes, and like my jungler style is like farming, and still like middle game, late game. I got like a really like a lot of effect in the game. If there's late game.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So you guys have done a fantastic job with this upset. It's going to bring you guys up to 2-6. You're doing a really fantastic job throughout the course of the season. In the sense of like you just keep on fighting. So yeah. I got to ask you, what do you have to say for YUBI and BBZ and their your upcoming rematches against them?
I think the next game will be pretty easy though, cause like now our confidence like really high, you know, and then like we're gonna like be the first season.
You're gonna bring back first season Taz? Oh man, yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh man,
it's gonna be so much, dude. I really wish you luck. You guys got a little bit of a tough road ahead, a little bit of a mountain to climb, but you guys got this. I greatly appreciate you stopping by, Trey.
Yeah, thank you.
You are very welcome.
And last show out for my task game, show out for like Shadow 21, because this like his first game and he do pretty well in that game, because like I like his style, because like he know farming, he plays safe, not get rank like kid. So that's why. Just shout out for my team. So awesome. Good.
Always got to shout out your team. Always got to shout them out. All right, with that, we'll be taking a quick break. We'll be right back, folks. Next game coming up, it's gonna be a huge one. We've got Universal Basic Income versus Blue Bayou Zoo. Don't change that web browser. We'll be right back.
hard time imagining the match will go quite as smoothly as our first match against BBZ. I mean, they sort of rolled over and died.
We kind of shot ourselves in the foot with the draft, and then we kind of ran around like headless chickens.
To put up a fight, but overall, yeah, I have a hard time seeing them competing with us.
Decide to flash in. There's the Cataclysm on top of massive Senna ulti. A lot of damage coming up from the side of YUBI as they pick up the first kill in a second. Onto that Poppy. No smite available. This is going to be Dragon going over. Sivlock picks up a double kill. And what a well-executed fight on the side of the Cat boys.
I think Orphic has done a good job as a support. I think it helps that in this league, a lot of the supports are somewhat passive. I think Red is notably worse in mid, though.
It's definitely a huge change, changing from AD carry, where basically you're just like, haha, AD carry go for right click.
So, I mean, last season they had Lights, who is a fantastic mid laner and ended up hitting Diamonds mid-season, which is why he's no longer allowed to be on the team.
Lights was very good at just following everything up, so when a call was made, he would just immediately be there and he would perform his best at all times. Versus with me, it's losing a little bit of the skill level, but there's a lot more communication going along.
He's just a good enough player that all the weaknesses don't necessarily show up until he's facing the very best competition.
Dax actually getting caught out with Lucky Fridge and Zishan. Zishan unfortunately does miss that first trap, but now gets...
I think in terms of mechanics, Dax is the better jungler, but when it comes to overall team coordination and team play, I think Utility has definitely shown that he's probably the strongest jungler in the whole league.
I actually think it's really hard to judge jungler ability because it's so dependent on your laners, and it's so hard to know what communication is going on behind the scenes. So a lot of games in the early game, I tend to not play super aggressively, and I don't think Dax does either, though he's probably more aggressive than I am.
Dax also is the primary shot caller. Since he's less involved with everything, I think that there's sometimes a missed beat, whereas Utility Monster is basically puppeteering all of YUBI.
You know, I might be the best jungler, but I don't think that's going to be what decides the game, to be honest.
Kerrigan told me I needed to shit talk YUBI and not be respectful, so YUBI sucks, BBZ is gonna win the whole season.
I think BBZ has this, this notion that we're their biggest rival in the league. You know, they're the #2 team. We beat them in finals last season. I don't think we feel the same way. I think we feel like we're really a step above them, and so it's hard to have a rivalry with someone that you think is just inferior to you in every way.
Hello, folks. Are you ready for a show match? In the blue corner, we have weighing in at 8 pounds, standing 8 inches tall, the Cat Boys, who make up the lean, the meme, the dream team, YUMI, Versal, Basic, Income. And in the red corner, returning from the underground depths of Zon, we have the mean, the aquamarine, Blue Bayou Zoo. Woo! I don't know about you, fam, but I'm ready for this one.
Absolutely, the hype is bleeding over. Jesus Christ, I don't know how you prepared that, but man, that is what we expect. I like it, and I hope this game is full of boxing references because I cannot wait for a back and forth fight for who is going to be, frankly, one of the best teams in the league or the best, depending on who you ask.
It very well could end up showing that. I am super excited for this one. We've already got some bans that are very respectable bans, getting rid of that Nautilus, getting rid of the Braum, getting rid of the Jax, and we already see the Xin Zhao and the Jarvan coming out, so that is going to be a huge fight back and forth between Dax and Utility Monster. That is going to be a huge slugfest, and again, I think this is just going to be a back and forth counterpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of counterpoint, we have a counter jab coming out. Blue Bayou locks in the Varus, and Universal throws down the gauntlet with the Vayne. So showing that they're ready to take an AD carry skill matchup. It can go either way. With now Leona is being taken, and now expect the Shen to head into the bot lane. I know this is something that Brian Zhang does play quite a bit. Freelancer will take it if the matchup is really good, but it looks like that is going to be a bot lane pick for the Shen. And both these teams are already drafting up either tons of damage from the side of Universal and tons of CC coming out from Blue Bayou.
Yeah, it's a lot of CC, and then Universal Basic Income just has so much map presence. The Jarvan has got a really nice clear, which is going to give Utility Monster a lot of pressure just across the map in general. And then the Shen, just once he gets that Stand United available, he's just going to be ulting around them all over the place in order to protect his allies. When we see the Yumi's getting hovered, are we going to see it? Don't you? Oh, they baited me. They baited me so hard. We're going to see an Annie come out instead. You jerks. They're pulling it out again. Could we see it? No, we're not. We're not going to see it this game. I am very, very upset at the moment. But I do have to say that, like, talking about globals, we got the TF getting picked up for BBZ Red. Or probably, actually, hold up. That's going to be a Silas top on Jaffe?
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna have to be. Geez, someone's tongue could burn with all the spice we're seeing so far. Annie being selected up as a counter pick to the Twisted Fate in the mid lane. A Mumu support coming out. Shen going up to that top side. Yumi is all full of, like, this is the Yumi special, always having a pocket pick ready to play.
Exactly, and we are seeing, like you said, that a Mumu pickup most likely going to be going into the bot lane, so it's kind of negating that top lane Shen, or bringing up that top lane Shen. We're going to have to hop onto the Rift to just see exactly how this plays out, but I am excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy that we didn't do predictions, because you do not predict against greatness. You only witness it, and these are two of the best teams in the league, and I cannot wait to see who is going to take up this victory, because they will solidify themselves as first place in their division.
I know you said that we don't do predictions. However, just looking at these two teams, it's kind of a toughie, because I'm a little bit torn between a Mountain and an Infernal Soul right now.
30 seconds.
Mountain and Infernal Soul. I mean,
that's just where my gut feeling is. I'm not quite ready to say where it's going to go yet, but I will have one before this first Drake falls. I do have to wonder if we're going to be seeing Brian Sang try to one-up the Rex boys and get himself a level 1 kill, just because that was intense, and that showed just how powerful Amumu can be. Look at this. Civillock just waiting in the wings. He's looking for it. He sees BBZ Red. He goes in. He gets the damage. That is going to be a bone plating proc, so he's going to protect himself, but he's still going to take a nice chunk of damage. Just going to go ahead and back in order to negate it, though.
Yep, 110 on the clock, so that damage is going to stick onto Red. He's not going to be able to take his recall, or he is going to choose to do so, but he's going to be late walking out to match this wave, most likely. So small advantage already picked up for Civillock. He's been a very, very strong mid laner. Obviously, the bot lane is the superstars of YUBI, but having pressure in the mid is one of the first steps to being able to pressure in the bot side. As you see, a ward has come out into the jungle of this YUBI that's going to be spotting this early jungle clear. So utility monster is going to be spotted for quite a bit.
He will be. They'll know where he is, but just a question of, just because you know where they are doesn't mean you can necessarily do anything about it. As we look into this bot lane, we can see that we are having Xin Zhao start on a top side clear, which is going to allow Leona and Varus to potentially engage onto this bot lane, but they've chosen instead to move out onto the actual minions and avoiding the first level cheese. I personally might have stuck around for it, but against an Amumu, I don't know if it would have worked out in Leona's favor.
Yeah, you have to say, honestly, I haven't seen enough of this matchup to know exactly how it's supposed to transpire. I do know Mumu is very strong early in his first all-ins, but he does fall off a little bit in his level 3 to 4 power spikes. So.
Right. Look at this. We're talking about early power spikes. Jaffe taking a lot of damage from Freelancer early. Shen's damage is pretty powerful if he manages to get the Spirit Sword to actually pass through his opponent and gets himself that extra attack speed. The thing that makes Brian Singh so dangerous, though, is that right there. It's not the damage. It's the CC that locks you in place and allows Jeff God Gamer to pick up first blood at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. They pick it up just as they're getting level 2, so technically a little bit slower than Rex's.
Yep, first blood, 2 bandage toss landed, really aggressive trade, and that's something that's not supposed to happen in this lane. Varus Leona is expected to win this one, so getting a kill on this so early, Jeff God Gamer is going to be extremely happy that Vayne is going to be where that gold is going to be going onto, and hopefully the wave is going to be able to be held.
Look at that nice taunt, catching him on the edge, getting a lot of damage onto Jaffe, and Jaffe getting so low. That is going to be the ignite popping out at the last possible second, but is it enough from the corruption pot? It is going to just barely keep him alive. Oh.
Ooh, Freelancer's kind of greeted on that foot. He could have flash auto, and that would have for sure been the death, but he didn't want to commit those resources.
Nope.
Not sure what
the same time, Jack's like, fine, my allies are getting jumped on. I'm going to jump on somebody, but he's not quite able to hit the mark, so he's not able to get the long jump.
Yeah, flash burn on the Civil Lock. He's receiving the pressure as no another
Look
fight.
at this fight just going all over the place in the bot lane. Nice bandage toss from Brian saying Jeff God Gamer getting caught out though. He's gonna have to flash cleanse in order to stay alive. Brian saying is gonna get caught by a couple of autos right here, but it doesn't really matter as he's gonna have to get exhausted. He's gonna try and run away. BBZ Dax though is moving down. He misses the damage. The bandage toss did actually connect, but he died before he could get away.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be dragged in. Got to pick who you're going to give the kill over to. These are going to be the Varus or it was going to be the Leona. So good on the BBZ bot lane for picking up some kills when they had been disadvantaged. And now they're almost back to even because they're going to get a full push out. And Tef is going to be really happy with this base timing they managed to grab.
Yeah, look right, this Freelancer is already ready to jump onto Jaffe. We have the Throne Breaker coming out, but it's not going to be enough to get him away. He's going to be going under this tower, but at the same time, Utility Monster looking to get some extra damage off. He doesn't get the autos attack. He's going to take a tower shot, but Jaffe is continuing this fight, this 2v1 that actually is going to be an advantage for him. Look at that. He gets the extra passive auto attack, doing a lot of damage, gets a double kill in the top lane. Jaffe getting the heals, getting the damage, and we are showing why Silas is the King Breaker.
Oh, this man is a monster, picking up 2 kills on both the top and jungler. He had so much patience, didn't flash away to the initial gank, knew he wasn't going to die, went back in and put them in the ground. Well, Jesus Christ, Jaffe. This game is already delivering with how well these players are playing.
We are already seeing a lot of early aggression in this match, and it is just going to cause things to get even crazier. I am personally hoping for an Infernal Drake to pop up this game, just because the amount of damage that's going to be coming out will be ridiculous, and it will be insane. And I think that it would provide a lot of extra spice to these later fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're already at the point in the game where this Varus Leona is at a stronger point than they were previously. They should be able to contest this all in. And this way it's going to be frozen for quite a bit. So Tef is going to be in a solid position to prevent a lot of gold from going over to this Vayne. And they are going to intelligently choose to go for this drag and not lose anything further on the spot side.
Yeah, they are going to be sneaking this Drake, and that is going to be the first dragon going over to the side of Universal Basic Income. They are able to get it right there. That was a good call by Utility Monster to kind of jump in there when they had the bot lane prio. And that's going to mean that when this Rift Herald comes up, they should be able to basically get that then. And this is going to be a really tough fight for Blue Bayou if they're not careful about these macro plays that Universal Basic Income is so good at pulling off.
Yep. And here's Jaffe going for
good
another trade.
fight. Jaffe jumping in right there. He does manage to actually connect with that chain lash, so he's able to get in there, trying to get the damage off, but unfortunately Shen is just too tanky on his own. He did manage to pull out the Shen ulti, but that's not going to help him in the middle of this fight, but the Kingslayer is coming out, getting a lot of damage. That Ignite, causing so much of that healing to be reduced, allows for Freelancer to pick up a kill.
Yeah, shutdown, solo kill from the side of Freelancer. Well done on that end. Not dying, but again, super close and a lot of fighting in this top side.
There is a lot of fighting going on right now, and it's kind of one of those things where I feel like this is... Look at this. Jaffe already TP's in, and he's already ready to continue this fight. It causes Freelancer to have to flash out to avoid getting engaged on once again. Oh, man.
Yeah, these two will just never be done at this point. And Civilox still does not have the flash. I believe it's still a couple seconds away. We're just waiting on Red to see when that first TF ultimate is going to be used, because the globals are going to be a match. Silas can snatch up that Shen ultimate and use it anywhere he wants to. And while he does have it, they're going to probably be looking for a play sooner rather than later before that ultimate expires.
Most likely. See, we already see J4 is moving on his way down. Good ping out to warn the rest of the team as BBZ Red was able to see it. He does get the Tibbers jumped on him. He's going to get stunned, take a lot of damage right there. Oh, man, that TF just got shredded.
Yeah, the Annie combo, just instantly using the ultimate. The Tibbers is not super valuable when it's on cooldown, but it does last for quite a long time. So look how much zone it's going to be used to zone TF completely off the tower. He might even miss this cannon.
He very well could, and that's going to be a lot of gold that he's missing out on, which unfortunately he desperately needs. He's already 10 CS behind. Right now in the bot lane, we got Brian Sink throwing out a bandage toss. Does manage to actually connect on Orphic. That is going to cause them to get stunned 3 times. Look at the CC, but look at the damage from the Varus onto the Vayne in the backline, and that is going to be a double kill going over to Tef. Could be a triple, but he's not going to be able to get that next shot. That right there was, oh my gosh. And we have
BBZ
a fight under the tower in the top lane. The Abscond manages to help Jaffe escape, but not able to continue this fight. Oh man, Freelancer is doing such a good job against this Sylas in order to actually forcing the engages, forcing the fights, but staying alive and getting a lot of damage off.
Yeah, rest in peace to Sheraz's voice, because this game has been so bloodthirsty at the moment, fighting in the top, fighting in the bot. But this is the second time we've seen a gank be turned around by the side of BBZ. Their side laners are performing, and we're just really waiting to see when Red is going to get involved and when Dax is going to be able to find some inputs, because both these side lanes have managed to shut down one of Utility Monster's plays.
They have, and it's been really, really interesting seeing both these teams fight against each other. They've done a good job of kind of like keeping the engage going, but Blue Bayou Zoo has done a really good job of picking up the kills where they need them and like are just barely staying alive in those fights. It's just this scrap is turning into a all-out brawl.
Yeah, and I do like the Sylas pick into this top side. I wanted to give notion that Jaffe did take it, because now he is going to be able to match the Shem whenever he does choose to ultimate. The Sylas cooldown is quite long, but here's another all-in the mid side.
Another all-in right there, dropping Tibbers once again onto Red's head and getting a lot of damage off. This is the thing about Annie. It's super safe, really able to do a lot of stuff from a distance. Like, just look at all that right there. It's just able to zone so effectively with such a simple kit.
Yeah, absolutely. Civillock is just using the Annie ultimate on cooldown. And with Jaffe getting pushed in here, it looks like there is going to be some positions for Freelancer to look for a play if he does choose to ult out, because he's going to have the priority to do so soon. So with everyone being bot side, it's going to be
Freelancer jumping on there. Spirit's Refuge coming out, so Jaffe can't actually get any of the auto attacks off. He's going to get the Abscond off in order to try and get some damage. He's going to get the Kingslayer as well. Going to get ignited, so that healing is just going to get reduced so drastically. He has got barely any health left. Freelancer has a huge advantage right here and could easily jump on him and take him out, but with that tower is providing a little bit of protection for Jaffe as they are planning to pick up this Mountain Drake that's going to be up here in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah, it looks that this Jaffe is going to be extremely vulnerable. No flash on the Shen though, so the flash taunt combo is not going to be available for this side of Freelancer. But after the early fight, Jaffe is continuously losing these trades. He's trying his best to maintain in CS, which is going to be the main goal for Sylas in this lane. But yeah, Freelancer doing a fantastic job consistently winning his trade. As now the ultimate's coming through from Red.
We do have the ultimate from Red coming out. A nice solar flare catching out two members of YUBI, but that's going to be the Xin Zhao bringing up the wall, but protecting himself from a lot of damage. We got the bandage toss coming out, and the root from Brian Say getting a lot right there, able to protect his allies, keep them from engaging on. But do we have double kill going over to Tep as he manages to pick up a long range arrow? If you notice, we did have the Stand United come out as well. We have the Tibbers getting dropped in order to take down Dax, and that is going to be a lot of gold going over to Civillock. If you look at Freelancer, they did try to use their Stand United and protect their allies. They are going to dive under this tower now. Spirit's Refuge coming out. That is going to be the Abscond of the Abduct coming out, but it's not going to be able to protect him as it's just outside of tower range. Freelancer picking up a kill as a little bit of revenge for that disruption earlier.
Yeah, second solo kill on the side of Freelancer, continuously to win these trades. Got that last auto down. The Abscond was there, but the Abduct put him into the dirt. So Sylas going way too aggressively. And if Shen gets an advantage and is able to TP out and have priority, that's one of the things sad is they're continuing to fight bots.
Look at this. They're still fighting over this Drake. They weren't able to actually take it down. So Brian saying Utility Monster return to Cataclysm coming out. This is going to be the shutdown going over as Tef gets completely shredded by the Jarvan. But at the same time, Brian saying getting really, really low. But the stun coming out from Andy's going to protect him from Dax. Dax having to smite the Drake in order to stay alive, but it's actually going to activate it, causing him to go down as he gets taken out by a breath shot from the Mountain Drake, which might do the same to Jeff God if he continues this fight. Red trying to run away. He's not going to be able to get away as the triple kill goes over to Civillock. But look at this. We got Jaffe waiting in the wings. He's looking to go in on this, looking to continue this fight. So Jeff God and Civillock are going to have to run away.
Yeah, he's teleported down, which means he's actually walked down. So it looks like this fight is just going to continue. 2 pink wards for him to clear up if he does find them. But yeah, this dragon fight is going to be continually causing so much pressure. But Rift Hero is going to be spawned, and that's going to be walking up the bot lane. So let's see if all that gold is going to come through onto this Varus, who, while he did get shut down and got sent over a lot of gold to Vayne, he was 6-1. So I'm sure Tef isn't too upset about his position in the game right now.
He's like, yeah, I gave up a lot of shutdown gold, but at the same time, I've already got my Eclipse, so I'm good.
Yeah, and this is a game where there's so many targets. Annie is extremely vulnerable into poke, and so is Vayne. Very low base armor on her, as now it looks like Utility Monster going to get caught out.
Look at that, another Solar Flare coming out, getting a nice bit of damage. We have Dax trying to jump onto the Utility Monster, does a little bit late. That is a huge stun coming out from Mayonnaise. They managed to pick up 3 members right there. Dax trying to get some healing off, but it's not going to matter. We have the ulti coming in from Jaffe as Jaffe comes down to finish them both off. That was beautifully played. And it's probably not over
very
yet.
good target selection, but Tef is going to be available.
Looking for some damage on the side. Jaffe managed to hit the abscond as he's able to hit, catch them out right there. That right there, oh, beautifully done.
Yeah, Jaffe just being there, walking down, being there for his teams in. Now, they should be telling him to base as fast as possible. He has teleport available to get to this top side. Shen's going to get nothing, so you expect Shen to have the global advantage, but Jaffe was just walking down, and he was just there for the fight.
Yeah, it's really kind of devastating. Like, the wind becomes lightning from Xin Zhao coming out and actually managing to hit Utility Monster, but he dashed a little early, so Utility was able to escape, allowed him to kind of run away, jump back over the wall, getting that Cataclysm and trapping them. It was very well played across the board, but BBZ was able to maintain their pressure, maintain their presence of mind, and just do a decent job of continuing that fight. And with this TP advantage, they are in a really good position just continually pushing this map, though Civillock is getting his teleport back very, very soon.
Yeah, and it's 14 minutes since the game, and we're already at 23 kills, so the fighting
it's
is...
2 kills a minute. It's crazy. Look at this. Dashing in, getting the Shadow Dash off. Freelancer getting a lot of damage onto Red because, unfortunately, TF does not have the same way to protect himself as the Sylas does, but it's going to be perfectly fine. Good amount of damage blocked by Freelancer as he brings up the Spirit's Refuge. Look at that. The Curse of the Sad Mummy trapping Jaffe under tower, but it's not enough. We have the BM coming out from Jeff God as he flashes that Mastery, trying to bait him in. But Jaffe's like, I'm going to stay under tower and wait for you to come to me.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's flashing that Master. Showed us the BM. He was really close to being dead in that last fight. If that ultimate lands on the side of Sylas, Namumu still has a very large AP ratio that could very easily have been the life of the Vayne. So
the angry kitty is angry.
Yeah, he wants to make sure he gets his BM out there. Jeff God has always been that type of player, consistently remembering to use those pings to, get the tilt on the enemy team. BBZ still they're sticking with YUBI. They've been fighting.
His spidey senses are tingling. He knew something was up, and he was right as the bear gets dropped on his head. You gotta watch out for those drop bears, Tef.
Yeah, and there's wards in this mid lane, so that was a more wide than anything else. Like, there was really no reason to check that bush. Civillock's waiting for there, picks it up. Very smart to be there and punish Tef for just walking up haphazardly, not respecting the anti-burst.
And look at this. This is gonna be the mid lane falling here probably pretty shortly, as we have 3 members of Yuumi ready and willing to jump in on this. BBZ Red is off to the side, clearing off some wards, trying to get some vision off. Jeff God in the meantime is just pressuring the Sylas under the tower. I'm not entirely sure. They're just letting Shen stay up in the top lane and free farm. He's already got almost 120 CS in addition to his 2 kills. Solar Flare coming out, hitting 2 members of Yuumi. That is a massive amount of stun coming out in CC. Look at that. We have the Xin Zhao shield coming up, and that is a lot of damage that they're blocking right there. We have Sylas jumping out of the back line, catching the Abduct, catching the Abscond. Kingslayer coming out, getting a lot of heals, and this is just Yuumi versus basic income getting shredded. There are no cat treats in Blue Bayou's pocket as they just take them out.
BBZ is smurfing it, moving faster around the map, being consistently there for the team fights. Now, they did lose the bot side tower to the Vayne. The Vayne did get solar tower gold, so there's a bunch of gold going over to the Vayne. Jeff God is going to be quite happy with that, but that's going to be the mid tower, the most important tower traded back. Their mid tower is quite low, so YUBI will be collecting that up soon, but the fighting has been there, and BBZ is navigating these fights quite well, using their global pressure to get good trades and punishing YUBI for being in random spots, honestly.
It does feel like they caught YUBI on their back foot and were able to kind of like force them into positions they didn't necessarily want to be in. And BBZ, like you said, that global map pressure just basically means they can go anywhere, and it doesn't matter where they are. They're going to be able to join in whatever fight breaks out. Rift Herald getting dropped in the top lane. That's going to be this one dropping as well. Spirit's Refuge is going to block a lot of the auto attack damage coming out. Utility Monster using a great Crescent Guard in order to knock back the dash in by Dax, keeping his allies from getting knocked up. He's going to be fighting under tower, though, as he's taking a lot of damage because that tower has a sliver of health and nobody sneezed on it. Orphic getting caught out as well, and he's going to be going down here shortly. Brian saying catching a bandage toss onto Red. He's going to get chased down by Tibbers, but Silas is going to be like running away, but that's going to be the shutdown gold going over to Jeff God Gamers. He picks up another kill, and that right there is why you've got to be so careful when you try to fight against a Universal Basic Income.
Yep, that is the BBZ special right there, giving over a random set of kills, a lot of advantages to UB in the mid game where they just didn't just
Shadow
move up
Dash
randomly.
not quite long enough to catch out Tef there, but that is a lot of damage from those auto attacks on the Varus. That Eclipse is doing so much for him. He actually went back and picked up a Muramana that is already evolved, so that's going to be a lot of damage in his pocket as well.
Yeah, the Tef is on a tear right now. Any fight where this Varus is in is going to be a very successful fight for the side of BBZ if everything lands. But honestly, you got to give Orphic credit. He has been consistently landing ultimates, using this Leona to maximum effectiveness. And let's see if this fight is going to be the one that they win.
This is going to be a nice fight jumping out right there. We have Orphic getting caught out. He's going to run away, though. That is going to be Jaffe picking up the Scuttle Crab as he decides the objective is a little bit more important than that. Huge corrupt arrow coming out from Varus as he manages to get a lot of lockdown right there. He's going to be staying out of a lot of the range of that. The Cataclysm is going to catch him and Tef, though, and he's going to be getting taken down. Dax is going to use his Crescent Guard to his best of his ability, but it's unfortunately not going to be able to block enough damage, and that is going to be Blue Bayou Zoo getting shredded by this Universal Basic Income as the Cat Claws have come out. Utility Monster is hungry for blood. He chases Jaffe under the tower. Jaffe goes golden to stay alive. The Dragon Strike comes out early, though, and that means that Jaffe's going to get a lot of healing up, but it's not enough as Utility Monster picks up the kill.
Yeah, this is just a series of events where everything's going UB's way. Target selection just hasn't been there for the side of BBZ. They continuously not prioritizing the proper targets. It's very important, especially when you have a TF, because TF is a single target stun. It is very useful if you can instantly burst that target, but if you're splitting focus, you're not going to have enough damage to really find anyone. And with Tef getting pressured and dying so early, this is just a series of unfortunate events that have all been going UB's way.
With the way this game started, Blue Bayou Zoo thought that Universal Basic Income had been declawed, but they were in fact raw. They had actually just put on some Purdy Paws, and they've decided, you know what? Okay, it's time to take the Purdy Paws off.
I mean, absolutely. Cats do have 9 lives, and UB does seem to have used about 6 of them, but they still have 3 left, and they have managed to find themselves a hefty advantage, 4,000 gold up, and it's going to be now the balls is going to be in BBZ's court. Are they going to be able to find picks, utilize this TF, find advantages, and get some shutdowns, or is UB just going to continuously dominate these team fights and be able to pressure off all these objectives like they have been doing so far?
Yeah, and the thing is, they put so much gold onto their team, their TF and their Varus earlier on, that now that those shutdowns have gone over to Universal Basic Income, they have taken whatever gold deficit they had and gone and increased it. And you can see that their returns are going in their favor as they have already created a 3K gold lead in their favor.
Yep, 3K already collected up. Fantastic play from the side of UB to get those advantages over. Now, the CS hasn't been as high this game because there's been so much fighting, so we shouldn't expect massive gold influx on any of these carries. That's going to accelerate them that far, so it's going to be on who can find these picks, and Jaffe smartly checks the bush.
Jaffe's trying to check the bush, but instead he doesn't see the 3 that are hiding in the fog of war, and he's going to get caught out as Brian Sang takes him out.
Yeah, picks around vision, utilizing their aggressive pushing, making sure that they're there. Brian Zhang finding another pick as now Utility Monster is going to spot Dax walking up.
This is the power of the Universal Basic Income's team comp right here. You have such great engage and such great team fighting protection from the Utility Monster and freelancers Shen and Jarvan that it allows Jeff God to be able to just come in, get those auto attacks off, proc those silver bolts, which just completely shreds any and all defenses that BBZ try to put up.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something we see quite often from the matchup and seeing BBZ and Yubi. Whenever it seems like BBZ is getting the advantage in the fights, Yubi just seems to play the mid game better. It's their strongest attribute, is something that has allowed them to come back even in games where they're behind.
Orphic is going to try and check a bush, but he's just gonna find Utility Monster Brian Singh waiting for him. They're friendly enough to be like, we'll let you go this time.
Yeah, absolutely. If that was anyone else, probably Leona, they probably would have engaged on it. But Luna's a bit too tanky to try to one shot with who they had available. But yeah, as I was saying, this is what UB does so well. They consistently find picks. They play the mid game properly. They're there where they're supposed to be. They punish the mistakes that BBZ often makes in the mid game, and the game's often just determined on whether or not BBZ's far enough ahead in the early game to make it not matter. But in this game, it seems to be that they haven't been so far.
I think they were far enough ahead in the early game for it to not matter, but unfortunately, some good picks by Yubi have allowed them to just basically be like, yeah, you had an advantage early game, but it's not going to matter. Nice chain of corruption coming out from Bears right there. He's trying to get the damage off, isn't quite able to finish off his target though, and we have jumping onto the back, Mumu jumping onto the back line, getting a lot of damage. This is going to be Yubi just completely shredding the front line that BBZ has, as they're able to now jump onto Tef. Jeff God just being like, look, you have tanked, I don't care, I hit you in 3 shots and you're gone.
All the bursts going on to Jarvan. Utility Monster didn't even die, so full clean ace. Shen getting that shield using a multiples advantage. Utility Monster just lasted so long, and now it's accelerating out of control for BBZ. This is going to be a Baron picked up almost 8,000 gold lead after this is collected, and with Dragon spawning in a minute, Infernal Soul is coming over. This is going to put them on Soul Point, and these are these fights that BBZ can't be taking if they expect to come back.
That machine gun vein is just going brat, 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 and it's just completely shredding through this Blue Bayou comp. There's just nothing they can do. They're just a bunch of animals running around right now with the chickens with their heads cut off. And unfortunately, that is exactly what they didn't want happening in this game.
Yeah, at one point, this was a 6-1 Varus that they were looking at. Tef was just popping off, but now Jeff God has managed to procure up 3 items. He's the first one to hit it, and he's just way too strong to contest any 5v5 at the moment unless CC lands, and he's just been doing a fantastic job dodging everything and not getting punished.
Yep, look at this. We got poor Leona getting caught out as Orphic just decides to face check a bush. They should not have been face checking. They have to flash to stay alive. Tef is wanting to move up, but he knows that Brian Sing's bandage toss can catch him pretty much at any time. Orphic using the blast cone to run away, because here's the thing about Leona. They're tanky when the Eclipse is up, but once it goes down and explodes, they're just going to pop like an ADC. And it's really, you've got to make sure that the fight is over by that point, or that they've locked down the particular target they need to. And unfortunately, Blue Bayou have not been able to do that.
Yeah, they've just been using too much burst, too much utility on champions that aren't going to die easily. And anything burned onto Jarvan at this point is a waste because he's just too tanky, too strong. Gorge is going to get too much value, as now they're going to look for a pick on Freelancer.
They're looking for a pick on Freelancer, but you don't really pick a Shen because they're just able to block all of the auto attacks. No knockup actually coming out as the 3 autos just don't manage to connect because of that Spirit's Refuge. So there's really nothing they can do. Utility Monster getting a nice Cataclysm, catching Orphic right there. And that is going to be the Solar Flare coming out, catching Jeff God Gamer, keeping him from going down. But it's not going to matter as he's just going to die anyway to the rest of Yubi. And then we got the Crescent's Guard trying to block the damage, but everyone just walks into it and is like, hey, yeah, you've got this up. We don't care. We're going to come fight you face to face. And then look at that. Utility Monster's Dragon Strike just snipes TF and takes him down. BBZ Red has fallen. That is going to be the inhibitor fallen, and with this Baron push, that could very well just be game. Bandage toss coming out right there. Catch it, Tef. Then we have the Curse of the Sad Mummy coming out, getting on that nice roof. Jaffe going gold and trying to stay alive. This tower doesn't stay alive though, as that's the biggest protection goes away. They're just completely obliterating the objectives inside of BBZ's base. And this game that looked like it was Blue Bayou Zoo's has gone in favor of the Universal Basic income.
She's as close as it was early, is not close at the end. 26 minutes, and that's all she wrote. And once again, Yubi just was too good and did everything in the mid game right. And BBZ was close, but no cigar.
Close, but no cigar. The Cat Boys have done it again. That was just an absolutely intense game. Great performance by Jeff God Gamer. Great performance by Utility Monster. It's just kind of one of those things where it was absolutely ridiculous. You can't count out Civilox Annie either. I mean, just look at these damage charts. Pretty much every single member of YUBI did better than at least 2 members of BBZ. Just outperformed them.
Yeah, they just outperformed them. They just played better. They played better as a team. And even though the lanes was a little bit of a struggle, when the team play is so good, you kind of compensate for the struggles that you may have. And just once again, YUBI has proved themselves to be the better team.
They definitely have. With that, we're going to be taking a quick break, folks. We will be right back with an interview. That was the last game of the day, though, so we will be seeing you all on Thursday. We'll be right back. Hello, folks, and welcome back. We have got Utility Monster here, the Jarvan, the jungler from Universal Basic Income. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Glad I got carried to victory by my team.
You got carried? Oh, so how do you think your performance was on that game?
Oh, I think I played the team fight phase pretty well, but I totally griefed the early game, and my team did really well to keep it even. I did my job once we got to the fights, but I could have played a lot better the first 15 minutes.
You say keep it even, but that Jarvan ended up getting a pretty hefty lead and a lot of gold that it seemed like it was a decent return on investment for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I did a good job of stealing all the kills later in the game, but I started the game 2-6, and I deserved the score line, so definitely feel like I can improve my play.
You definitely did. You know your play pretty good from performance perspective. So I gotta ask, what was your all's plan going into this draft?
Our plan was to win bot lane and go even everywhere else, and then just win team fights from there. We won the team fights. I don't know if we did the rest of it, but good enough.
I see. So it's like, what would you say if BBZ as a rival in this league? Because it seems like you guys had a pretty good control of this game.
No, I don't think that badly of them. I think they played really well. They really pushed us early. Just a couple fights didn't go their way. They weren't quite able to keep their foot in the gas pedal after all the picks they got mid game. And we were able to take it with some better scaling team fights. But it was a closer game, I think, than the ending looked. And yeah, we were definitely behind and worried for parts of it.
It was a very close game, excuse me, for sure. So going now, like in the direction of playoffs coming up and looming on the horizon, what do you think is going to be kind of like your biggest hurdle, you think, before getting as far as you think you'll get?
I think we need to just make sure that we come out and always play the best League of Legends we can. I think most of the top teams in the league can take a game off of us or a series off of us if we show up and just have a really bad day. And so guaranteeing that doesn't happen is going to be the number one thing we try and do. And we've already lost one game this regular season, and it was relatively convincing. And so we just want to avoid that happening 3 times in a row in playoffs.
Totally understandable. Well, thank you, Tiller Monster, so much. Really appreciate you doing the interview.
No problem.
All right, and with that, we're going to be closing it out, folks. Thank you all so much for dropping by. We greatly appreciate you stopping by and being here. I wanted to do a quick shout out to our sponsors, Adobe Creative Cloud and Logitech Gaming. Thank you so much for your support. We will be back on Thursday at 4:30 Pacific time for our Helios League, so be sure to stick around for that. Have a wonderful night.